Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, saints of every single age, welcome back to another awesome Sunday service video. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday so far. I know I say that all the time, but one, it is kind of hard to come up with a new intro, and two, it is truly where I'm at. I hope you guys are having a great week, a great Sunday, that when you guys watch my videos, when you watch me dive into the Word and we discuss what God has been speaking through me, that it's encouraging, it's insightful, and it's inspiring, and God uses these videos to help grow your personal faith and your relationship with Jesus. And thank you so much, guys. We reached over 100 subscribers. That was kind of the first big milestone I wanted to hit, so thank you so much to everyone who liked, commented, subscribed, all the things, and I can't thank you guys enough. So let's hop into the Word and hop into Sunday service. Alright guys, today what we're actually going to do is we're going to talk about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. If you guys don't know who they are three awesome Jewish bros who stood up against a tyrant and came out on the other side with God's help. We're actually going to open up to the book of Daniel. That is where their story is, because Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and Daniel were all bros. They were all homies. And so Daniel wrote down their story in his book, and it's so incredibly inspiring and so incredibly cool. We're going to read a few sections today, but if you have not read their entire story, please go do it. It's in Daniel chapter 3. A little bit of background to what we're about to read. So the Jewish people were in Babylon at this time, and they were under the rule of King Nebuchadnezzar, right? He was not a good king, he was not a good dude, and he made this huge statue, this huge golden statue. And he demanded that everyone in his kingdom, as soon as the music was played, they had to bow, they had to worship the statue and his gods, all right? And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, no, we're not doing that. Ain't gonna happen. No way, bro. Not cool. And what ends up happening is King Nebuchadnezzar finds out about this. And he sends for them so he can talk to them and say, give them one more chance. And he says, all right, this is your last chance. If you don't bow down and worship, as soon as that music plays, you're getting killed. You're going to get thrown into a fiery furnace, all right? So with that being said, let's jump to Daniel chapter 3, and we're going to start in verse 16. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied, O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God whom we serve is able to save us. He will rescue us from your power, your majesty. But even if he doesn't, we want to make it clear to you, your majesty, that we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue you have set up. So these guys are so cool. They stand up to this king and say no. I mean, he gave them a second chance because they didn't do it. They bring him to him and he's like, all right, you have one more chance to do this. Otherwise you're going to get thrown into the furnace and be killed. And they're like, no. That's not going to happen. We're not going to do it. You can't threaten us. There's nothing you can do to us. There's anything that within your power you are able to do that will ever get us to disrespect our God and serve your gods. And they're so cool about it. They keep calling him your majesty, but they're like, no, we're not going to do this. That's not going to happen. And that section alone to me is super inspiring, because in this world, in the world we live in this world that's filled with evil and your flesh desires, our spirit has to be the one to say, no, we are only serving God. Whatever he says goes. I'm not about to go and worship this other thing or follow this direction of the enemy. I am going to serve God no matter how bad it gets, no matter how awful my life becomes in this world. My God will supply all my needs. My God loves me, and I'm going to serve him forever. All right, let's continue down a little bit. We're going to start back up in verse 19. Nebuchadnezzar was so furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego that his face became distorted with rage. He commanded that the furnace be heated 7 times hotter than usual. Then he ordered some of the strongest men of his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them into the blazing furnace. So they tied them up and threw them into the furnace, fully dressed in their pants, turbans, robes, and other garments. And because the king in his anger had demanded such a hot fire in the furnace, the flames killed the soldiers as they threw the 3 men in. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, securely tied, fell into the roaring flames. But suddenly Nebuchadnezzar jumped in amazement and exclaimed to his advisors, didn't we tie up 3 men and throw them into the furnace? Yes, your majesty, we certainly did, they replied. Look, Nebuchadnezzar shouted, I see 4 men unbound, walking around in the fire unharmed, and the 4th looks like a god. Oh, it's so awesome. So Nebuchadnezzar is there and he's like, you guys are going to die. The boys stand up and say, no, our God's got us. And what happens? God shows up. Oh, it's so cool. Guys, no matter what you're going through, when the fires of the enemy feel like they're surrounding about you, guess who's there with you? Guess who's there, ready to fight your battles, ready to get you through, ready to protect you, keep you safe, give you peace, heal you, give you joy in every circumstance? It's God, the Almighty Jehovah Nissi, who fights your battles. God is there. He loves you. He's not ashamed of you. He wants to help. It says in Galatians 6:9, so let's not get tired of doing what is good, and just the right time we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. Guys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they didn't give up. They didn't care if they died. They didn't care if they got thrown in the fiery furnace. They didn't care about it being 7 times hotter. They didn't care about any of that because they knew that the God they served would save them. How cool is that? How cool is it that we can have faith and we can be assured by this story that it doesn't matter what we go through. It doesn't matter how bad life gets. God will save you. He will protect you and he loves you. Oh, it's just so cool. Oh, I just get hyped. You're done. Preach me happy. I don't really know what else to say, guys. I feel like that story speaks for itself. The boys go up. They easily could have denied God and say, nope, I'm sorry. We'll bow down right here, right now. And they could have easily said, nope, I choose life in this world over God. But they didn't. They completely denied the king. They completely denied his gods. And they said, nope, we serve the one true God, capital G, and he's going to save us and redeem us. And even if he doesn't, we're not going to do it because we still serve God, and they knew they were going to heaven. How cool is that? How cool can we serve a God and say, nope, I'm not going to follow the world. I'm not going to follow the enemy. I'm going to choose God. No matter what I get called, no matter what persecution I face, no matter whatever happens, God's got me. God's got you. He loves you. Have a great Sunday. We'll see you next week. And always remember to fill yourself with laughter and love.